Let's get into this one, people, man. This is part 2, people. Part 2 of the video, people. Let's get into this one, people. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. Part 2 right there.
People have full moral immunity. Chads can cheat, be degenerates and assholes, and still get praised. Ugly people get canceled for the exact same behavior. Everyone understand the claim? All right, and the countdown begins.
Actually, does that only apply to men?
I don't know, I just read the claim. I can read it again for you if you need me to.
No, it's okay.
Everyone understand?
Attractive people in general.
Attractive people in general.
So that
They could get away with more. Let's just simplify it to that. Yeah.
Everybody understand? Awesome. And in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, wow. Yo, that person was gonna go flying across the table and go on the ground, man. They're desperate to get to that table, wasn't it? Yo, it's like she was trying to rubber tackle.
All right,
That's
so
crazy.
the reason I asked if that only applies to men is because on your own stream, you've had, I'm assuming people in your van are only going to be really attractive women in your opinion.
No, I wish.
Would you say the majority, maybe? Okay, well, I'll try to make the point regardless.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm sorry, a good majority of the women you have on stream in general are attractive, right?
I try.
And I think a lot of people that might agree with me would say the same thing. My first example was, I think, just a couple of weeks ago, there was this girl that was on your van that was, I guess, all up with you. And she had a picture of the guy showing her boyfriend that she went to homecoming with on her Instagram. I mean, I'm on Twitter. She got fucking torn apart. She got ravaged for, I think I still see it every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's happened like twice now. I mean, would you not say that maybe is counteracted to that point?
Excuse me, sir. How old were you when you...
Oh, come on, man. Why does it always have to have breaks, man? Come on.
No, because I think that there's just a huge community of sort of hateful people, and like the more looks Max Blackfield's sphere, they're spewing that kind of stuff because they have so much resent and hatred in their hearts because of what we're seeing in the entire society across the board. Women being hypergamous, women literally screaming when they get approached by guys who might not be the best looking. So that's kind of where that behavior is coming from. I'm not justifying it, I'm just sort of saying why it exists and why it occurs. But you know, nobody likes cheating, and we're simply saying that people are more likely to get away with these behaviors. Mm-hmm. So maybe if she were better looking, there wouldn't be as much hate, there wouldn't be as much resentment. Maybe the attention would be more drawn towards her beauty, for example. Mm. So regardless, you know, it wouldn't be received well in any context, but would the brutality have been to the extent it was, where people were literally doxing her, talking to her family members, all this kind of stuff? Who's to say, really? But I would make the argument that it would not have gone to the extent if the women were a lot better.
Okay.
Wait. Is he talking about the one? Because wait, he's had a few of them, innit, that he had to kick out, innit? When that girl was on his stream, innit, and I think they were in like a sprinter and stuff, and then she had the boyfriend, and she was sitting on his lap, and then she's like, "Don't put this on the internet. Don't put this on the internet." I think, is that who he's referring to? This guy's referring to, or is he talking about the situation what happened in the club? Where the mum and the daughter was there, and he told them, "Why are you in the club for? Like, you got a whole husband out, back home." Which one is he referring to? Because he's had a few of these situations, isn't it, people? Maybe I'm confusing the both of those ones. So let me know which one, or if you can, send me like a video of the one he's referring to, and give me like a timestamp on that.
And then I do kind of want to. This does contribute to my point. would you say status as in wealth or maybe a job position that's really high up in a big company, would you say that contributes to your status as a whole?
Yeah.
So what about the guy that was caught cheating on his wife at the, what was that one concert, the CEO?
Yeah.
The Coldplay concert. I mean, their stock fell like 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's at some point, that's millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, right? I don't remember if he was fired. I know he was probably considered for being fired for doing something like that to the company. I mean, that's...
Oh yeah, I remember that situation. That he was cheating on his wife, innit? At a concert. Is that like a Coldplay? It was Coldplay, innit? Yeah, and the camera came on to them, and then she was like ducking, and yeah, I remember that.
It's a huge... That's someone with immense status, and that's a huge drawback. He was probably almost fired from a job, stuff like that. It's like, was he fired? Yeah.
Well, he lost a lot of people a lot of money, right? And of course, that's a huge public scandal. I mean, that anecdote doesn't really play into what's going to be seen in your everyday scenario, like, you know, guys in college who might have long distance relationships and the girls are cheating or things of that nature. But it's more so, let's kind of move the question back towards just the halo that you get from being attractive versus unattractive. Would you say that good-looking people are able to get away with more? Is that a fair point?
If you're going purely off of looks, honestly, probably.
Okay.
For certain things, yes, but I'd say, like, when it comes to something more drastic, I'd say probably not, you know?
Well, if it's to the extent where it's a huge public scandal, no one's going to get away with anything. Just because
yeah,
you're
you can't get away
a
with that.
10 out of 10 looking guy, which wouldn't exist, a 9 out of 10 looking guy, and you go and shoot someone, that halo effect isn't going to get you out of a murder sentence. But you know, maybe if two people rob a store, one of them is unattractive, one of them is attractive, the prison sentence might be lighter on the attractive person. That's the argument we're making. It's not a get out of jail free pass for doing whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, I could agree with that if you did have something to sort of back that up.
There is a lot of research done on reduced prison time based on how attractive the inmate was. There's a lot of research.
And the majority has voted you out, sir. If you could please return back to your seat. Give it up for Ginger. All right, guys, on the count of 3, you're going to rush the chairs. 3.
You know, he had a good few points there. I don't think there was any real disagreement back and forth, but it looks like he was agreeing with him again, isn't it?
3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, got him.
God damn.
You all right?
Yeah. No way. Let's see that again. Yo. Slow down. Slow and down.
2, 1, go. Ooh, got her back. God. 2, 1.
Nah. Let's slow that down. Let's. Yo. No way. No. Let's slow that down. Let's slow that down a little bit.
Go.
No way.
Ooh, got her back. God. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, got her back. God. You all right?
Was that me that hit the table? I don't think I hit the table. Right here. I did?
No way.
No, I didn't.
Them shoulders need to be classified as fucking.
Where? I seriously didn't think I was even close to it.
Too much test, you know?
Damn it. It must have been the heel.
So that's
I'm
right.
so sorry. I really wanted to get in the chair. They put me so far away. Shit.
Should fly into that chair.
Sorry, guys.
Over up beyond.
Apologize for that. I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Everybody good? Clav, you good, my boy?
I'm great. Yeah.
Everybody ready to go? All right.
That was crazy.
And resume.
finishing up a point or not?
No.
Okay, so my argument kind of is that I don't think you really morally get away with it just because you look better. I think that you can in a like surface level way, but I think that the problem with the black pill especially is that it kind of tells people to look at things that are definitely true, but then it stops right there. So I think that someone like you, you know, who has so much power and influence, I don't think that like the things you do that I would consider unethical, I don't think you get away with them in a moral way. I think that, especially for your audience, because I think that you, almost like a Nietzschean philosophy, you show a lot of truth to a lot of people, but it stops there, and I don't think that looks maxing really helps people get away with more morally in the end. I think that it's a degenerate society requires correction, and I think that you know, Spider-Man, great power, great responsibility. I think you have a responsibility to help others, and I don't know that looks maxing does it. I think it's very surface level. Like I'm saying, I don't think people get away with things because they look better, especially morally.
On the streaming platform, would they have the same career I do? I really doubt it, right? So, yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what I'm arguing is, you know, just not a complete free reign to do whatever the fuck you want, but you'll be able to get away with behaviors to a lot greater extent. And you're not getting away with things morally, because that's more of like a spiritual thing, and it's self-taxing to do drugs and be promiscuous. But in terms of society's perception of you, yeah, you're going to get away with them to a greater extent.
I'd say that you're actually more of a focus because you're more attractive, because you have more attention on you. So I'd say you get away with like less. I think that other people fly under the radar because they're not very attractive.
Well, they fly under the radar because no one's looking, right? No one's watching their streams. But I mean, I do a ton of crazy shit all the time, even to this day, that probably would be bannable in most cases, and I haven't really seen any consequences of that. And would that be true if the looks level was a bit lower? It's a hypothetical, but I think based on everything that we know and research that we do have, once again, like inmate sentencing based on attractiveness, I would say that we could definitely make the educated guess that it would be a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, you're more attractive, you have more opportunities to choose things that are like bad for you. So I think that in a karma kind of way, like it balances out. Like you really get away with more. Like, yeah, you can like get with that girl because you're more attractive, but can you know, it's hard to calculate the consequences like further down the road, like you said, self-taxing. So I think that, I don't know, I still hold that argument that I think that it ultimately does come back. I don't think you really do get away with more.
I would say that some of the stuff that I say, you know, and some of the lines I might drop on women, you know, to sort of try to pick them up or whatever, I think if just a random gesture were to attempt that, probably wouldn't go as well. They might get into some trouble with police and stuff like that for harassment, quite frankly. But it's a lot better received if I walked up to a girl and say, hey, you know, let's go home and fuck, versus someone else might get a drink poured over their head.
But I think then that
And our 10 minutes is up, guys, on that claim.
Oh, that was a good conversation, people. I can't even lie. That part of the conversation was, I can see the guy's claims of what he's saying there. I mean, I can see why he would be like concerned in that demographic of people, the black pill, the red pill. You know what I mean? Why they think this way? Why does that think that way? I think most people would be more against the red pill than the black pill. You know what I mean? And stuff like that, like clavicular, say, clavicular. That's what whole looks maxing. So it's just about your features, what you look like, what can make you better. You know what I mean? But with the red pill now, it's just like a whole different kind of matrix to really get into and dive in and understanding women, understanding yourself, being in shape, being the best of you, for what it's been told and preached of the red pill. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I think it covers the black pill as well. In a sense, it clashes with the red pill as well. Black pill, red pill, it's kind of the same really. It's all about improvement, making yourself a better person, generally. Do you know what I'm saying, people? But yeah.
All right, you can return back to your seat. Give it up for both of our debaters. All right. Hey, I'm hosting. All right, for our next claim. Everybody ready? Money, status, and personality cannot Money, status, and personality cannot mog bad bone structure or a recessed face. A rich mid guy still loses to a broke 8 out of 10. Raw looks are undefeated. Everyone under...
Money, status, and personality cannot mog bad bones or structure or face, and a rich, a big guy, and loser to a broke 8 out of 10, and raw looks are undefeated.
Understand the claim. One more time. Money, status, and personality cannot mog bad bone structure or a recessed face. A rich mid guy still loses to a broke 8 out of 10. Raw looks are undefeated. Everyone understand the claim? Clav, do you have any reiteration to it? Anything you want to add or change?
I think we could start there.
Awesome. Cool. Everybody ready for the countdown? All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good. Let's go, man.
Alright, I think if you're just like not a fucking bot and actually pursuing the game of life, there's 3 things you're trying to ascend in. It's money, looks, and status. And I think if you try to focus on making a lot of money first, that's a lot more easily achievable. I think the ROI on that returns a lot more. And also, that's just gonna up your status, like as a direct correlation. And you can also use money to improve your looks as well. So I think you should focus on making a lot of money first, and that's a lot better than the other 2.
Well,
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
that making a lot of money is an easier thing to accomplish than jumping up a decent bit in looks for the average guy. Looks maxing is quite easy to understand. There's really not too much that goes into it to get 90% of the results. I mean, simply getting lean, getting to that 10-12% body fat mark can jump you up 10-20 percentiles for most people, right? And then if you go a step further and simply maintaining your hair far into your life and basic anti-aging with like sunscreens and skincare, whatever, these are things that are going to massively improve and ascend you, that's going to give you noticeable results. Whereas even going from maybe making $50,000 a year to $250,000 a year, very difficult thing to do, right? That's a substantial amount of income for a young guy, but that's not really going to change your S&V that much relative to going from super overweight to super shredded and tanned, good looking.
Well, I think if you do the basic things like you're in the gym or you're staying lean, and like you said, that could jump you up 10 or 20%, that's still not gonna get you that fucking far. But if you have an income increase from 50,000 to 250,000, like you said, you can fucking do whatever you want. And also, if you're actually...
Really?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Obviously, it's a huge jump on what you're saying right there. It is a huge jump. Like, yeah, that's a huge jump. Yeah, you have to do a lot of things to get to that route of making that 250. Know what I mean? Like, it's a big jump, but yeah, definitely. But it depends on what kind of career you're doing though, to get that type of money, to be earning that type of money, to get the status as well like that in quick time, but I don't think anything's quick because you always have to build to make that type of money that he was referring to.
In what sense? What?
Like how is that going to correlate to a higher sexual market value? That's going to have noticeable differences versus going from a fat, slob to someone who's super ripped in shape.
I mean, I think it's crazy to say that if you increase the amount of money that you make, it's not going to increase your SMV immediately.
But how would women be able to perceive a difference from 50
I mean,
to
look at the
200?
world we live in, social media, what you wear, the fucking car you drive, the crib that you have, whatever it is. And
so we're talking about the crib. I mean, do you really think there's going to be a noticeable difference that women could actually perceive from 50 to 250,000? Well, we're not going from brokey to a multimillionaire driving Lamborghinis. We're maybe going from a bicycle to like a BMW. Right?
Well, I think it's like you said, like with looks, it's jumping up a 10 to 20 percentile or something with doing basic things. I think
that's a huge improvement. That's a massive, massive thing.
Yeah, but I just think in the world that we live in today, I mean, as you know as well, like it's a lot easier to start making a lot more money, and you're gonna receive a way higher ROI on that. Let's say you jump 10 to 20 percentile in your income versus 10 to 20 percentile in your looks. The money part is gonna give you a higher return on just everything in your life. And like I said, it'll correlate into status and looks as well. I remember, I think you said on a podcast one time, when you were younger, I don't know if it was like a surgery or something, and you said you wanted to get it, but you couldn't afford it. If you focus on making a lot of money first, you would have been able to do that and have that like looks ascension.
Well, money comes from having good looks, right? The only reason I'm successful in my career, a lot of people have speculated, is because I took the steps and I looks maxed to get to where I am as a public figure, right? So. And the argument is that really doesn't make sense at all, is they're not mutually exclusive at all. It's not that difficult to set aside some time to looks max and be on top of your finances, but that is completely untrue. That is going to be easier for people to 5x their finances than it is to looks max. I mean, come on.
And the majority has voted you out as well, sir. If you could please return to your seat. We're going to resume with this claim, guys. From the count of 3, please rush the chair safely. 3, 2, fucking Royal Rumble.
Chair's still on my. It's the same motherfucker. Chair's still on my foot.
Damn.
Pretzel them up, dog.
Yeah, what was that? Man literally stepped on his foot and still had his whole body on the weight of his foot, and he's like, "Get off me! You're on the chair. You're literally sitting on my foot." This guy, bro.
I'm sorry, man. All right. So the main reason I want to completely argue against that is when you take any girl that you manage to get on a date back to your house. Like, let's use this house for an example. This is a sweet house, I gotta say, right? You're telling me she sees this house, she sees that $160,000 Mercedes van that we pulled up here in, and she's not gonna say, wow, this guy is really hot, this guy is someone that has a lot of value, this guy is someone that works hard. She's not gonna wanna get you in bed, maybe stay with you for a while?
Well, yeah, it's certainly gonna be Halo, but like, to put that over looks is a little bit ridiculous. Because I mean, how come I'm loading up all these girls, so easily in my Sprinter van every single day, but there's people in the club, the section next to me, that are mogging me to death in terms of the amount of money they make, right? So just that, the fact that there's none of these girls are at the neighbor's house, so what's going on with that? And women don't perceive money very well at all. They have no idea what's going on. The fact is, it's not like I own this house. So it's like, but they don't know the fucking difference. So to place...
I mean, yeah, you got a good point. Hey, he's making some good points. Which you can say. They would never know if I own this house or not, or rented it or whatever. Guys would just be like, whoa, this house is nice, or this car is nice. But they don't even know, maybe you might have rented that car out. So some girls in their heads he's trying to say is like they will never know the difference. I can be renting all this out, all the jewelry, all the clothes, the cars, the money, but not the money, but you know what I'm trying to say? Well, loan, yeah, you can get loans and all that. Women will never know the difference or how I got this. Basically, that's what he's trying to say right there. He's just trying to break it down in that way.
Money that much higher than looks is.
They will never know the difference. That's
Okay, so
basically what
let's
he's
say I
trying to
take you
argue.
back to that same club, right? You'll put yourself there. You're saying if there's a guy that is popping champagne bottles, he's throwing around all the money, right? Literally throwing money around, right? You're telling me people aren't going to see that. They're not going to see that excitement. They're not going to see the aura that generates. They're not going to be drawn to that rather than.
Well, in the club, the way that it's set up is so that if you're broke and if you're going GA, you won't even be able to access the women. They'll be sectioned off at tables, so you won't even be allowed to talk to them, essentially. They'll put you in the bottom pit section.
Exactly.
If you've seen like clubs.
That's why they got VIPs. Real talk. And where most people concentrated on the VIPs, especially the women. That's why the women trying to get all the bottles and trying to get the. You know what I mean? They're trying to be with the ballers, shot callers. I mean, real talk. People with money, high status. Know what I mean? They're thinking, ooh, they got all this. I want some of that.
Space, so
you're
they're
saying
off
that
limits.
If you can't afford to get in there, you're not even going to have a chance with these.
Well, if we apply club space to the entire country and dating market, then I think we're fucked, right? So that's a little bit retarded. And
Alright,
anyway,
so then
you don't really.
Let's go to dating profiles. We were talking about that earlier. I mean, I'd say I'm a pretty average guy looks-wise. If I am taking all these pictures on my fucking mega yacht, right? I'm pumped out on Jeffrey Epstein's island on my mega yacht. I'm hanging out, right? You're telling me they're not going to see that big-ass yacht. They're not going to see all the money around me. They're not going to be like, I want to hang out with that guy.
Not really, because that's every single days is sort of, LARPing that they have a bunch of money. So, you're not some genius. You didn't come up with this, oh my God, what if I rent a yacht for a day and take pictures on it? Like, that's never crossed anyone's mind before.
But you just said women can't conceptualize the money.
Yeah, but I mean,
they know it's relative?
they know it's bullshit. They know it's not, because every single person's doing
they either
this.
can conceptualize it or they can't.
Well, they can't conceptualize the difference necessarily between, me owning a 100,000 watch, or maybe this guy has a fake watch. They can't tell sort of the difference between these things. I mean, come on, like take that fucking shit off.
That was fucked up.
You know what I mean? Like, like it's a little bit too obvious.
So, but if if that's what we're calling important, if it's the little things, right? You're saying that the little things matter like a watch more than seeing someone on a yacht in a $50,000
Well, no,
more than a $150,000 car. Or something
well, what
like
I'm
that.
saying is these are things that are only going to be able to be perceived by men, so they're really not of too much significance.
You're telling me a girl can't perceive a yacht? I mean, that's pretty.
No. What I'm saying is,
No, it is what I think. It's a smile, right?
Oh, come on, man.
A 100-foot yacht, that's a multi-million-dollar boat, right? And probably most guys on their Tinder profile have a similar picture or LARPing similar activities.
Have you?
And then
I don't think I can agree with that. I don't know
Well,
people that are hanging out on yachts like that.
hanging out on. Okay, well that's literally.
I guess we
almost
are
every
at Fort
single,
Lauderdale. I will go
almost
with
every single person has a picture like that on their yacht, and then you actually get on a date with them, for whatever reason, they're gonna know immediately based on the way you're dressed, the watch you wear, the house you have, that that's not your yacht.
Okay, so if someone made more money, right, and was able.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they will know the two until you tell them. Because you can be like, yo, this is mine, this is that. But you also can fake like you own something. Like in terms of like, what I'm saying there is, like, you can dress up, look so rich, have the designer clothes and all sorts, and you can really fool people if you really wanted to. They will never know that. It's just how you carry yourself, the way you think. You can literally fake that if you want to, as a whole persona. And I'm there's a lot of people that probably has done that. Know what I mean? Acted like they had this, they had that. I think a lot of people have tried to do a lot of things like that.
To routinely dress nicer, have a nicer watch, put nicer things around them. You're telling me I'm going to use that against you. It's like, that's...
So what do you think is going to
see
be
that.
easier for you? Is it going to be easier for you to become a multimillionaire and get one of those yachts, or is it going to be easier for you to maybe lose 5% body fat?
With the amount of opportunity around us in the world, I mean, if it's in my personal experience, I've turned $5,000.
And sir, you have been voted out by the majority. I'm sorry to interrupt you. If you could please return to your seat.
You only have another like 10 million until you get the yacht, so you're on the right track.
I would like to everyone's.
And there's only about 5 seconds left on the clock for this one, guys. So,
I can take 5. I mean, I'll take the 5 seconds.
yeah, one statement, please.
Right.
Keep it brief.
So the question, it said bone structure.
People, let me know what you think about that topic as well. What did you think about both topics? Let me know, people, in the comment section down below.